Now we've come to the point where the movie really spirals out of control. Columbus has a nightmare which features a bunch of weird colors, and the King Ferdinand as the devil. Oh, and apparently in dreams, characters can talk telepathically, since Dom DeLuise is constantly yapping throughout the scene when his character's lips don't even move once. Wait a minute, did he just pull that telescope out of his crotch? Hey Jeremy, you know that feeling you always get in your wishbone? That's your telescope extending. After that, we cut to Pico listening in on the crew members, who are starting to doubt Columbus and are planning to have a mutiny. Pico then goes back to warn Columbus, but gets caught by the three rats, resulting in quite possibly the worst chase scene ever! Pico tells Columbus about his crew's plans, so Columbus decides the only thing to do is liven them up.
Down the course of history, on this you must agree, the bravest men were always those who sailed across the sea. Oh, the life of the sea is the life of me. No love is a land of we. We love is divided. What other life must there be?
And I have to admit, this song actually isn't that bad. It's not great, but what really ruins it is the constant amount of filler effects being used for the dream sequences mixed in. Is there really any point?
Sailors big and strong.
These filler effects are so awesome, we're gonna use every last goddamn one of them. But that night, it's Pico's turn to have a dream. This time, he imagines himself with Marilyn, going into outer space and then ending up in the Garden of Eden. What the smeg is going on here?
Pico, what kind of a dream is this? She's going away. This isn't a dream, this is a nightmare. Where's Marilyn? Marilyn, come back!
I'm sure she'll hear me if I keep talking telepathically. In the awake world, it seems that the crew has finally reached land, but instead, all they find is a ghost ship filled with skeletons. In a heartbeat, the rats make a run for the rowboat while the rest of the crew, which now has a fourth crew member, don't ask me why, I don't know, have a mutiny on the ship and try to hang Columbus. But just when it seems like it's the end, Columbus finally sees land. But before they can reach the beach, they're suddenly attacked by the swarm that kidnapped Marilyn. So the Santa Maria crashes into the beach, and since the Nina and Pinta aren't around to give a shit, Pico and Columbus are left to fend for themselves. Pico then meets a beaver named Bob.
I'm Pico the woodworm, I think.
A woodworm? No fooling. Say, pal, you don't look so hard.
Ugh. He sounds like some weird combination of Patrick Star and Barney the Dinosaur. And what the smeg is a beaver doing living in the tropics anyway? Don't they usually live in dams upriver in North America? Oh yeah, I forgot. This movie was made in Germany. Silly me. So they finally reach the temple where Marilyn and the treasure are located. So Pico and Columbus must race into the gates into the temple and retrieve Marilyn and the gold. Folks, I have been wanting to do this for a very long time. On your mark, get set, go! There goes Columbus and Pico into the temple. Now they're in the room of the tall honeycomb, where they'll have to make their way to the top to get the gold. They'll have to go against the evil swarm at the top. Let's go, Columbus, get to the top of that hive. It sure is slippery, don't fall down.
Gotta get that swarm.
I'm coming, Marilyn!
Yes, now you've reached the top. Now you have to figure out how to get through that swarm. Just make sure you don't lose any fingers. Come on, Bob the Beaver. Eat your way through that honeycomb and save Columbus from the Swarm Lord.
I have
you've got the gold! Now squash all 80 million of those bugs with it, and get out of there before the badly animated temple collapses! Aw, too bad. You didn't win the trip to India. But hey, you discovered America! See you next time on another great legend of the Magic Voyage. Bye-bye! So Marilyn is found lifeless on a floating flower, and it seems like a sad end. But thankfully, the shockingly fast sun rises and Marilyn is revived. So Pico and Marilyn are back together, Columbus gets the gold, and the movie ends with Columbus and the rest of the crew making their way back to Spain.
We not only discovered the new world, but you were right. The world, she's around. And I couldn't have done it without you.
That's true, Columbus, but we did it together.
Just think, Pico. Because of you and me, one day there's going to be a big city right here. And there's going to be a lot of people, tall buildings. Maybe they're going to name something after us. Who knows? Columbus Circle sounds good to me.
Ha ha ha, foreshadowing for the win. This movie is retarded! While the film does have a lot of heart, and the Swarm Lord does make a frightening villain, it's not enough to save it in the end. The animation is horrible, the dubbing sucks, the characters are annoying, the worst being of course Pico, and it's so historically inaccurate and so badly put together that it makes it seem virtually unfinished. Characters keep disappearing, reappearing, plot lines come out of nowhere, and I could honestly name about 80 other things wrong with this movie. Felidae, it is not.
I got it.
Sure, Christopher Columbus may have been a bad man who robbed and enslaved people for his own well-being, but hey, he wasn't an idiot. Here, they just turn him into a bumbling nut job in a lame movie made by animation Nazis, trying to make him look even more indecent. Well, as they say in Germany, harter Kern Kopfschmerz! You know, as bad as this movie is, let's just be happy there wasn't a sequel. I mean, could you imagine if there were? Hey, I've got a real kick-ass idea for a sequel. How about Columbus and Pico team up with Bill and Ted? Huh? They all ride to different time periods on board the flying TARDIS. Then suddenly, they all end up in present-day West Milford, where they all have to stop the evil Joe Don Baker from taking over the world, all while riding shotgun inside a big pink Cadillac. I've got myself a Cadillac, but I can't afford the gasoline.
Why do you use Thomas clips in your videos? Why do you say Smeg all the time? What's Smeg anyway? What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich? Is he rich like me? Who wrote the Book of Love? Where is Waldo? What can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a comb? What's up with the fish time?